Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie and I'm a nerdy flute player, which means I do covers of video game, anime, TV, and film music. And if that interests you, I will leave a link in the cards to all of my cover song music videos, as well as links in the description below to where you can stream even more of my music on all of your favorite streaming platforms. I am also a video gamer and I stream here on YouTube as well as Twitch, twitch.tv/KatieShesko, and I do things like Breath of the Wild bingos and board games. Please consider following me on all of my social media for updates on what I'm doing, and consider becoming a patron over on patreon.com/KatieShesko, where you get a monthly update as well as what reactions I plan on doing, behind the scenes, album artwork, and if videos get done early, you get the video early as well. And if you cannot support financially, please consider sharing, and subscribing, and leaving a comment below. All of those things really help my channel and help support me as an artist. Today's reaction is Dimash, and this is the Adagio, and this particular performance is from Sochi 2018. This one was another highly requested song. And yeah, I'm excited to dive in. How I typically do my reactions is we will watch the video in full with just my comments over it as it's playing, and then we'll go back and do a deep analysis of it at the end. I like his transition from low to high. Love a live performance, love a live audience, or a live accompaniment background. Very passionate from the beginning. I really like that. It's a very like chill, almost like laid back jazz vibe. Oh. Okay, interesting key change. Nice clarinet there. This definitely doesn't fit the typical song format. There he goes with the operatic, love it. Very passionate, I like it. I really like this as a ballad. Like, he can hold that for so long. Very dynamic stage presence. love this bass. Wow.
Dimash,
So good. All right, there's a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and dive in. Now, before we get started, because of how I do my reactions where I watch the video in full and I don't do any pausing, my videos do tend to get copyright claimed. So if you do enjoy these, please consider either becoming a patron over on patreon.com/KSESCO for $2 a month. Any reactions that don't make it to YouTube will also be posted there, so you kind of get bonus content. Right now, there's only one that has that was heavily restricted by YouTube, so that's there. But anything other reactions that I do that don't make it to YouTube will be on Patreon. And if you don't want to do a monthly donation, please consider donating on Ko-fi. I will leave a link in the description below for a one-time donation. I'm currently saving for an alto flute so I can expand my musical offerings in my recordings. But even if you can't support financially, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. All of those things really do help. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead. I do pause a lot when I do this in-depth analysis, so if that is not your cup of tea, hopefully I will catch you in the next video. But for those of you who like the in-depth analysis, let's go ahead and dive in.
Where to find you? I don't know how to reach you.
So I liked how there was a lot of orchestration, there was a lot of instruments at the beginning of the song, and then when he came in and went down to voice and piano. That's a really interesting effect. Haven't really seen that so far in the songs that I've watched. So yeah, I really like that, really orchestration, and then dropping it down so that you can kind of have that gentle entrance coming in. I also like that he took the one monitor out. I do this with my own recordings sometimes, and I'm probably one of those weird people that when they live stream or they do recordings like this, I don't like to hear myself in my headphones ever, because there's that slight delay for it to be processed to get back to me in my headphones. It really throws me off to see someone else kind of need to hear themselves organically without not in ear monitors. I like to see that. It makes me feel a little less alone in how I like to do my recordings and how I like to do my own live streaming and stuff. So it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that has to hear themselves.
I hear your voice in the wild. I feel under my skin.
So I really like this breathy, whispery quality. He, started strong in the lower register and it was nice and full. And then when he got up into this, and when you see saying these lyrics, I feel you under my skin, that's how do I want to say this? Because it's October, so that feels a little spooky. This is what serial killers say. But I know where he's going with the imagery. It's kind of like a longing, a needing. So it makes sense that here you would want it to be more of a whispery quality, I don't entirely want to admit this to you, but I need you to know this. So yeah, I like that juxtaposition there.
And in my heart and my soul, I'll wait for you. Adagio.
So I really this is probably the simplest orchestration, the simplest backtracking I've heard in a long time between the soloist. There's a light string in the background, and I like to do this myself when I have a very light orchestration. I tend to still just a light string in the background, but the piano here is only a couple notes, a chord here and then a couple notes. It is so simple, but it is so beautiful. I love that effect because it's so haunting. It's so almost not even there, and it really just reminds me of Breath of the Wild music. If you've never played Breath of the Wild, okay, so spoiler alert, I'm a huge Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild fan. Huge fan. That's mostly what I do on my Twitch streams. A lot of people like to complain about how like there's not a lot to the music, and I think in any other game it wouldn't work, but for the exploration in Breath of the Wild, it works. It's simple. It's just there that you notice it so that there's not silence, but it really it's the background. It's the background. It's just enough to keep your brain interested without it being overwhelming and overtly there. And that's what I'm getting from this vibe. We're really letting Dimash shine here, but the background is just there, so it's not just solo singing. There, he's got a little bit of accompaniment, but it's ever so slightly there, and it works really well for how he's singing and for what the lyrics are trying to express. So here, I like how it picked up. We kind of have like this almost smooth jazz feel. That's probably not quite what it is, but like that's kind of what it reminiscent of, like that, just a very light drumming. You've got the violin or whatever string it is, just kind of doing little blips here in between the lyrics, just to add a little bit of color between the phrases. And it's just, again, so it's picking up. We're starting to pick up steam a little bit. And that's how a lot of these songs go. A lot of these ballads go. They start really simple and then they kind of pick up till they get to like the high point of the song, and then they kind of back off again. And, you know, we're starting to pick up. I really like it. It's, again, a subtle instrumentation. We're not full on out, but just enough to kind of start picking up the momentum. Yeah, and I like his operatic quality. It's not super, but it's got those touches of it. So here, you kind of almost expect like a chorus to come in, but it never really does. There's never really a chorus. It doesn't really follow the traditional verse, maybe a second verse, chorus, verse, chorus format. It doesn't alternate between those like you hear in a lot of pop songs. It's kind of like verse, 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 verse. And here we kind of have an interesting key change, and it's very unexpected. At least I didn't expect it. I don't know. Maybe someone else did. I didn't expect for a key change and for it to not go into some type of chorus. It key change and we're back into like another verse, and it's a little jarring, and I think that's kind of the effect it's going for, and I really like it. And we're going way more operatic here. And then like going like that low register to those little pips of the higher notes, so seamless. Doing stuff like that is so incredibly hard to do, whether you're a vocalist or an instrumentalist. Going from one register to like pip into another and then back down, and making sure that you don't have like any in between notes or in between pitches, at least for vocalists, and for you to not have for it to like not sound pinched or forced or out of tune or too high. Typically the issue when you go from low to high is that the high note tends to be a lot louder, and normally you want those low notes to be louder or at the same level as the high note. You don't want those high notes to be louder unless a song specifically calls for it, but I think in something like this song would not call for that. So to have those high notes be at the same volume as the low or even a little bit lower, that's really hard to do. It takes a lot of control and it takes a lot of practice. I've played many an etude where you are kind of playing the melody on the low notes and then jumping up to higher notes in between. And I can think of like the Carmen Fantasy specifically for flute. that is reminiscent of this, where da, 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 da. So you kind of like have these in between notes in between the melody. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. That's really hard to do, where like the low notes are sustaining it, and you kind of have these pips without them being too much. So So here we have another key change. It's going into like another verse. We never really get a chorus in this song. And for a pop song, for a pop-y song, I guess I should say. I don't know if this is particularly a pop song, but for a pop-y song to not really have a chorus, that's really unusual. So we kind of went into like another key change. And again, seamlessly, now we're hearing some more of the lower operatic registers. He's doing a little bit more pitch inflection and within the lyrics, which is really cool. I like stuff like that, and he does it flawlessly. It's just so smooth. It's not overly done. Like, it's there to add some color, but it's not so much that you're like, oh yeah, I totally noticed that. If you're just casually listening, it just adds a nice color to it. Very operatic. I love his operatic singing style. Very passionate. I mean, look at his stage presence here. Very operatic. Love it. Listen how long he's holding that note. So that note was so long, he changed his pitch. There wasn't any like wavering in his voice. It was like just steady, so well done. You can like, it didn't sound like he was running out of air. It was supported the whole time. That stuff is hard and takes so much practice, and it's so well done. And again, we had like another key change, and this one was a little more expected. I kind of liked how it went into, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. I know I've heard this before, where like you have the singer or the soloist with like that extended long note, and then there was kind of like a key change underneath, and then it's like going into the rest of the song while they're kind of holding it out. And I can't seem to think of a single example off the top of my head where that is happening, or another instance of it happening. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice effect. It's a really nice effect. It's a nice transition. And like I said, he held that for so long. That's really hard to do sustained notes. I'm curious to know if he can circular breathe. But I do know he does. I mean, people have mentioned before in my comments that he does a lot of swimming to help build his lung capacity. So maybe he can't. So maybe he doesn't utilize that. But I wonder if he can circular breathe. That would be interesting to know. I'm sure there are many a Dimash fan who probably know this answer. Do you know if Dimash can circular breathe, and does he employ that when he's singing? I'd be curious. I'm curious. And here he just like dropped to his knees. My knees hurt just thinking about that. But then again, I'm old. I'm old. And the idea of just sinking to my knees like that. Oh, okay. Okay. I gotta rub my knees because they're aching thinking about that. But yeah, that stage presence just dropping. You didn't expect that. That just like, there's a lot of passion. He does have an amazing stage presence. Okay, we're going to stop right there because some of these lyrics are making a reprisal. So I don't think there's a traditional chorus, but some phrases are being repeated and sung again, but they're not quite the same. So that's why I'm not thinking like that there was a traditional chorus. Yeah, he's singing them differently. We talked about this in another video where like if you are repeating something or reprising something that you've done earlier in the song, that you want to do it a little bit differently the second time or third time around, however many times around it comes. You want to do it a little bit differently every time. And here, like, we are in full blown passion mode. There's a lot going on in the backtrack. It's so well done, and it just leads to a really good performance. Here, we're having some amazing pauses and silences between phrases and notes, and it just adds so much to like the character and to like the unexpected nature, because you wouldn't quite expect it here. You would maybe expect one before it transitioned into another spot, but like it stops and then it picks back up again, and here we're at this part where we're stopped and it's about to pick up again, and it's just so well done. I really like stuff like that when I listen to music. I like when things take something that you hear frequently where you have like these pauses between transitions, but do it in a slightly different way. And the song really does that. And he's still commanding the stage even when he's not singing, and even when we have like that moment of just break between, and we're kind of letting things kind of reverb a little bit. So it's not 100% silent. There's some of that natural reverb happening, but oh, I love stuff like that. And then
Dimash.
So well done. Just that nice like background coming in, tapering off, and then ending on that beautiful high note. Doing what he does best. Love it. Great performance. So well done. Yeah. What more is to say? It was a great performance. It was a song that had some unexpected elements, and yeah. Overall, really great song. I really enjoyed it. Well, wonderful performance. There's really not much more to say. Just solid song, solid performance, great singing, great effects, a little bit of everything sprinkled in. Perfect. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Do you have another reaction that you would like me to do, or just something that you would like me to check out? I always love to hear your feedback. Yeah, follow me on all of my social media, and I just appreciate you being here. The love and support has been amazing. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.